So yesterday I posted the 3D printing video, and after that, for some reason, I was in the mood late at night to shoot the water cooling video, which I thought was just going to be insert shots and I would end up having to voice it over. Turns out it was kind of a one-take wonder, and it worked out really well. The only problem with it was that my narration is rather soft because it was late at night and I was a bit tired. So I want you to all get kind of cozy. Oh, by the way, this thing here, yeah, this is a 3mm Allen key screwdriver thing. It's actually a set of 4. I bought it to support another YouTuber and his affiliate links. But anyway, it makes for a really cool pointer. I suppose poker too. But it doesn't have a sharp point. It's an Allen key. Anyway, so I'm just going to let that video roll. But, you know, just be prepared. It's going to be a little quiet. And there is no intro portion of it, so thus this. But stand by, ready to roll the footage, and roll it, and take. Alright, so we're going to give this plastic stuff a shot here. Let's see if we can melt this. I have an idea of where I want to be. Right in that, right between the 4 and the 9. Alright. Well, that's got to be good for you. Something tells me that that's not big enough. Close though. She's a very close. In fact, I can almost thread it. And here comes Simon to help. Yes, it's a bad idea, dude. It's a real bad idea. It's kind of late at night. This is going to be an insert into another video. That may have done the trick. Let's see. I mean, look. You know, threads in, so I'm going to call that. Let's take the lid off. Simon. Alright, now that we have not good Simon, let's go ahead and see if we can't thread this in from the back side. After all, this is how it shall be installed. This thing still has cat treat crumbs in it. Look. If the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. That's right, right? That's how that went. I don't remember. I'm sure somebody does. I was actually kind of hoping for a more linear connection there, but it's not bad. That should work. It's because of where it is. Yeah. If that's not perfectly sealed, maybe what I'll do is I'll order some silicone washers. I can get those pretty cheap from Amazon, and it'd be nice to have them anyway. Like everything else, because this is not quite sitting flat. Well, at least for the next one, I'm gonna guesstimate we gotta stab it right about here, maybe. I hope. The reason why I'm not drilling this, by the way, is because, believe it or not, I think that this would crack. Will it definitively crack? I don't know, can't say for sure, but yeah, we're getting pretty good at this. Nice. Okay, that's actually pretty easy. So one of these is going to be the feed and one is going to be the return. This one is good. I'm not sure which is going to be which, but whatever. These only get finger tight. You really don't want to go nuts with these. And then the largest, which will be right around the dot and the colon. This is going to be a cabling. So this is going to be a little bit bigger. Stop there. It's remarkably easy to do it this way. Oops. She went a Roman. But yeah, it basically becomes sort of self-threading by some miraculous thing here. So let's, I didn't want to do this live all at one time. I was going to narrate this, shoot this while I did it and narrate it, because I was sure there was going to be problems, and there still might be some problems. But right now I can tell you, she's coming together just fine. This is one of those things that, like, even though it's temporary, may just become permanent. You know? It might be a permanent fixture, because it's going to need some insulation around it, thermal insulation, because she's going to want to sweat when it's filled with ice water at the track. And by the way, I'm putting them in this side here because this is actually wider than this dimension, and I want it as far back in the console as possible. So basically, there's what we got. Here's our little pumpy pump. And this, a gland, I believe is what it is actually called, is a gland. Should be more or less watertight. And the nut part of the gland goes over this. That just suction cupped into position, basically. This gets nice and tight, and that, I bet, is already watertight. And then, get a pair of scissors, a length of silicone hose. I'd say, oh, maybe let's go an extra inch. Watch, it's going to be short, because that's how things work out for me. But it's just a touch on the long side. So let's try that. So this is a silicone, 8mm silicone hose. The brand is, got a kick out of this, Derpipe. It's either Derp or kind of got a German vibe. I don't know. Love these brands that you find these days. But there's your Derpipe. Anyway, I got two 5mm packs. It's actually kind of affordable. Now one of these is the return. Let's make this one. I don't know which one I want to make the return just yet. If we make this one the feed, so it goes in like that. I feel like that's probably still rather long. So let's take a good bit off this one. And Simon is back on the desk because he doesn't want to live. Okay. Yeah, I think that's going to be actually kind of slick. That's about right. I may actually end up taking a little bit more off, but for the time being, this is fine. I suppose I could always route it to the other one. It's kind of 6 of 1, really. I mean, this one is just a return, so I'm okay with it just kind of peeing wherever. It doesn't matter. That's the way my air-to-water intercooler tank worked as well. But that's basically the tank. Again, no hose needed there. I do have a filter coming, just in case there's some junk, but that makes, using Derpipe, we made Dertank. And cheap and cheerful. And it's made out of, where's the label? I saved it just expressly for this. Simon's favorite treats. Temptations. If you have a cat, know somebody who has a cat, and you want to do them a favor, and you need to make yourself a tank, I highly recommend Temptations. The savory salmon flavor. That's the one that Simon likes. I'm going to stick this to the cat. No, I can't do it. So, there you go. It's just Derpipe easy. That's nice and waterproof, too. I'm going to go check it Okay, I know it's late, but we've gone this far. We can't go back. That's right. I went out, filled it with water. I wanted to make sure this was watertight, and believe it or not, it actually is. So what's the next logical thing that we need to do? We need to test it. See, I've had this pump kicking around for a bunch of years now. I bought it for something, never used it for that. So it didn't size this pump or anything like that. It's just what I simply happen to have. So this seems like a good opportunity to test it and see if it's going to flow as much as we need it to flow. So let me grab the remaining 15 or so. No. How much is this supposed to be? Well, it's the Dur pipe. Let me get an approximate length here using my 6-foot wingspan. That's 6, 12. This is about 16 feet of Dur pipe that we have here. So let me just get the two ends. And you know what? Let's coil it up. That way at least some of it can be in the shot. And then, you know, feelings don't get hurt. Everybody gets a little screen time. You know how it rolls, right? Alright, so there's our coil of Dur pipe. This is like the Kung Fu King. Ooh, almost slipped up there, young man. So anyways, so this is the return. This is the source. I've already got my power supply keyed in. So I think your best view is if I tilt it like this. You know what? Electrical stuff and water. It's worked so well in the past. Alright, so let's connect the power supply, which is already preset to 12 volts at 4 amps. You know, that's a fairly realistic expectation of what this thing's going to get when it's in the car and the car is running. It'll probably get a little bit more, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta hit it. There we go. Wow, that filled up pretty quick. Well, that's weird. Oh, it sucked itself to the wall, I think. There we go. So that's actually pretty darn good flow, and it's only pulling about 300 milliamps. It's making me have to pee. So that little pump is going to be more than adequate. This will be filled with, you know, water and ice, and it'll be nice and brisk and cold. Of course, there's a couple of reducers. I will show you what the water jacket on the motor looks like. And by the way, let's just put our little science experiment off to the side there. This is actually, wow, she's really peeing now. Look at that. Like a racehorse, like a frickin' racehorse. So this is the water brick for, it's, you know, for computers or something, I think is what they actually rate it for. You can hear it when it sticks itself up against the wall. That's why I bought that filter. Let me shut that thing off. All right, so let me get the wires out of the way here. So this is the cooling block that I bought for the ESC. So in circuit, it's going to go through from the water container through Dur pipe into this cooling block. And if you notice, I kind of put a rough polish. I didn't put too much effort because nobody's ever going to see it. A rough polish on one side, and the other side has a sanded finish. I wasn't happy with the machine finish from Amazon, where I got this from. But, you know, price was right, and most importantly, size was right. And if we look at our ESC, let's take our ESC out of its protective housing here. Okay, so this is actually a pretty darn good fit on here. So again, it's going to go through, you know, thermal paste and all that. Get this nice and cold. I may even wrap this so it stays nice and cold. Goes around the motor, gets that really nice and cold, and goes back through Dur pipe into Dur tank. And that's how it's gonna Dur work. Derp. So there you have it. Didn't mean to do this video this late, or this low-key, or this quiet, but you know what happens when a boy and his Dur pipe, you know, get together. What am I going to do now? I just realized. So now I have like 16 feet of silicone tube, and it's coming up on 1 in the morning, filled with water. I really didn't think this through, did I? Let's see. This is filled with water, so I'm not touching that. Can we blow it back through the pump? Let's see. Let's see what happens. Oh, excuse me. So there you go. Cooling system for the electric Vortec. Thanks for watching. Thanks for taking the time and following along. It actually means a lot that you guys are interested in this. And yeah, mostly subscribe. You all have a good one. You hear? Really, Simon? Worst timing possible. All right, buddy. You gotta go one way or another, but you can't stay. Make a decision. Come here.